And just go ahead and hit got it for the meeting. I'm just waiting for it to show up on Facebook. Okay. We want to welcome everybody again to this month's presentation. And I'm super excited because I've been using this website. I've visited quite a few times, but Dead Fred, if you have not been to the website, hopefully after this, you will go and check it out. I'm going to introduce Joe Bott. He is actually the owner and he started this whole project. And so I'll have him share a little bit about that as well. So let's go ahead and do this.
All right. Do I have it now?
You have it now, Joe.
Hello, folks. I'm Joe Bott. I believe a few of you guys are friends of mine on Facebook. So hello to you and hello to you that aren't. I hope sometimes that you come over and visit my Facebook page, deadfred.com. I'm trying to think of how I can put this into a good format so we could talk about it intelligently, or at least I can, which I'm not known to do very well. So I'm going to make a real effort at it tonight to teach you how to use this website if you have an act to. But first, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and then how I got it started. And then we'll move on from there. We'll talk about how to use the website and some of the bells and whistles that are on here. And then we'll go to on the right-hand side of the home page, you'll see different things we could search through, and I'll take you through those. Also show you how to post a photo, and then last but not least, I'll show you how to buy a book if you care to. I had to get that plug in. So anyway,
you can start sharing your screen, Joe, if you wanted to.
It's already up there for me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Is it up there for you?
No, not yet.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Go ahead and try hitting the green share screen button.
Me?
Green share screen button. I don't, hang on a second. Right there. Share. Join meeting, sign in. Did I sign out?
I see your home screen.
Okay. So now I got to go back and find my, oh boy. There's my home screen.
There you go.
There
You've
you
got
go.
it, Joe.
Hey, great.
Good.
Okay, good. So there, what you see in front of you now, I don't know if I have them all. Well, first I'll talk about myself and how we got this thing started. I started collecting photographs, I guess back in 1965 when I was in the Navy. I was in Newport, Rhode Island. I got caught in a rainstorm and I had to get out of it. I was in uniform. I didn't want to get soaking wet. So I ran into an antique shop. I was 19 years old. I could care less about antiques. But I wanted to be dry and I didn't want to stand out too much. So I went around like I was going to buy something. So the owner wouldn't think I'm trying to just hang out. And what I found was a photo album from the 1800s. And I was leafing through it and I was seeing these photographs and I'm thinking, my goodness, this is beautiful. So I asked the owner how much the album was. And it was $19. Now that's 65. They're a little more expensive today, but I went ahead and bought it. It cost $19, about all the money I had in my pocket. And then for a 19-year-old sailor, that's a lot of money. But I bought that, and ever since then I was bitten. I fell in love with that album, and then I made it a point to buy old photos whenever I could. I'd go to antique shops, flea markets. Whenever I saw photos, I buy them, I collect them, look through them, on. And then I got out of the Navy and went on, still collected them. But then I got a job where I traveled quite a bit. And so it gave me the opportunity to travel like Duluth, Minnesota, or California, sometimes down to Texas. If I was in Duluth, I saw an antique shop that was going out of business, and I walked in there and they had a whole file folder full of cabinet cards. It was about six drawers high. And I worked out a deal with the owner, and I went to Kmart, got the biggest suitcase they had, filled that up to the top. It must have weighed like 150 pounds. And I took it home, and my wife, she couldn't believe I did that, but then again, she could, because she knows I'm a little obsessive when it comes to things, and I was obsessed, and I have been obsessed with photographs. So anyway, in '98, I got sick. I got very sick, and I had to take 4 months off of work. And I was driving Lori crazy somewhat, so I went ahead and she went ahead and bought me a computer, '98 now. So I was able to learn how to use it, search through it, and I noticed one thing about it was that online genealogy did not have didn't have a central location for photographs. So I went ahead and first I had a photo. I searched for a owner. I found the owner. It was a picture of his mother, his grandmother, and his father when his father was a baby, and I was able to send it off. It was in Fort Lee, New Jersey, is where this guy lived. At first, he didn't believe me. I was able to connect with him, and he thought it was just a bunch of hooch. And I finally talked him into it. I said, "Hey, look, I got your photograph. I want to send it to you." So I went ahead and sent it to him, and it was a great feeling. So I hired a company out of Springdale, Arkansas, where I'm located, and they built me a website. And then they come on board after a while. They saw what was going on. They saw it was popular, so they went ahead and helped me build a website, and became a very intricate part of my building this website. And so they're still with me mostly, as folks. There's Jeanette Valier Collins, who is our scribe. She writes articles, and she is also the editor for this book here. And then we have Amanda Schutzer. She was named Huber when I met her, and she built the database, the original database. And then we have Daniel Lawson. Daniel came on board about 5-6 years ago as taking care of the database. I know nothing about code, so he's our, what do they call that? Star Trek. He's our Scotty. So when something goes wrong, he gets called and he takes care of it. So anyway, we launched officially Dead Fred in 2001 as a incorporated website, and then we started to take off like crazy. And it wasn't all just us that did it. It was people from the genealogy world that really helped us build our website. Like, for instance, Maureen Taylor, who is the photo detective, she mentioned us on the Today Show. And that was enough to crash the website, which was beautiful. That was wonderful, because a lot of people got to know us. And then there was Megan Smolnak. She is is one of the top people in genealogy, as well as Maureen. And then Cindy Engel, who has Cindy's List, she helped us. Matter of fact, in both of these, all three of those were mentioned in the book. It tells you they wrote a little piece about what they felt was important about the genealogy world. Then there's Brian and Karen Leverich, who they started RootsWeb, and then went on to begin. They left that. I guess they sold it. I guess, and went on to Linkpendium. They have linkpendium.com is a website. If you haven't on there, check it out. It's really a wonderful site. And then there's a few other people that I'll be able to list. Oh, there's Genealogy Gems, Lisa Louise Cook, and then Lisa Lessons, who has a web page, and she talks. She has her what do they call that again? Think of the name. It's anyway, I forget it. I'm 77 and my mind's not working like it used to be. So, but Lisa Lesson did a review with me not too long ago, which showed how to work the archive. Now that's what I'm going to tell you how to do. So we'll start from there. Now what I'm going to do is stop talking about myself. I'll tell you a little bit about my family. I got a wonderful wife, been married 44 years, Lori, and we have 4 grown children and 13 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchildren. So it keeps us busy as much as possible in the COVID world. And we love them all. And then they even come over and help when they can with the website. So that's my family. We have, let's start with the front of the webpage. You see up top, right underneath those 3 ladies, there's information about the website. We have 22,908 surnames. I think there's 75,000 total. I heard at someplace. I'm not too sure what the total number of surnames are. For you who don't know what surnames are, there's the last name. Our last name is Bott, B-O-T-T. We have over 150,000 records, and we have 3,256 photo reunions now. As of yesterday, as a matter of fact. So it looks like we're getting a lot of activity. That 3,256 is collected over the total span of the life of Dead Fred so far. But it's picking up now that we've been on the website on longer than before. So we're getting more frequently getting photos being reunited with family. I'm guessing I didn't keep close to track of this, but somewhere around 600 have been sent home of the 32,556. So that's a success. That's how we measure our success. It's simple. This website is simply about finding your ancestors' photographs. Simple as that. You can post the photos that you have upstairs in your attic or in the cellar that are in a box that you haven't looked at in 10 years, and you're not too sure who they are. You can go to antique stores and take photographs. I used to go in the antique stores. If I didn't have money or a lot of it to buy photographs, I would take pictures of the photographs in the boxes that were on the shelf and take a picture of the information that was behind it. I don't think that was breaking the law, but I never got arrested for it. And then if you eat at Cracker Barrel is wonderful for having photos on the walls. I take pictures of Cracker Barrel in their pictures. So that's a good source of finding items to post on the website. Okay, let's go from there. First off, right above, on the very top, you'll see a young lady in the middle. Her name is Evangeline Elpers with her 2 friends, and they're from Logansport, Indiana. And I got a story to tell about Evangeline eventually. I'm not going to get to it right now, but I'll tell you about it when I'm going through the discussion on the website. She's an amazing woman. She recently died. She was 95 years old. And I talked to a nurse that was treating her, and she said Evangeline was a personality all to herself. And by her photographs, You can tell that's the truth. Okay, how do you search? Let's go ahead and I'll show you how we search. You got 5 different ways. You got quick search, which is just put a surname in there and see what it does. You got surname search, of course, that's self I can't think of the word, but explanatory. You click on a letter and this is give you all the surnames for the under B, for instance. Scroll down, there's quite a few of them. So you might get a carpal tunnel syndrome from scrolling, but there pretty much gives you an idea of what we have on the website. When you enter a photo, your surname will be posted on whatever surname letter it starts with on here. Like for instance, bone break. We have some interesting surnames on here. One in particular that I like is Orange Lemon. You have a guy named Orange Lemon. Get a chance to check him out. He went to college. I hear some odd names, but that one gets me. So here I'm going to click on Nicholas Starry, and that's him and his wife right there. It tells you where they're from, Indiana, Warren County. Then there's down in the comment section, there's this, tells you a little bit about who they are, where they live, what was going on. As much as if you post a photo, this is where you put the keyword search photos words in. If somebody's going to do a keyword search, they'll get it from your this is the comment section. So you click on the photo and there you'll see them close up. And then you click it, let's see here. And also, if you want to see what other photos this particular person posted, go down and see view other records, and you'll see the other photos that they posted. If you say, hey, there's my relative, Claude Thompson from Lucerne Valley, California, what you could do then is go down to contact the submitter, write them. They won't see your email, by the way. It won't show up in their mailbox. They'll just see your name and they'll see Dead Fred contact form. You add your name, they'll see your name, and then you can add your comments about, hey, this is my relative. Do you want to make a copy and send it to me, or tell me more about it, or are you my cousin? You know, whatever you just decide you want to discuss. There's thousands of photographs that were posted by the archive from the archive. And those photos, if you find a photo that was posted and owned by the archive, we'll send it to you for free if it's a relative. It doesn't cost anything from us. That's one of the things we enjoy doing. So we're doing that now. We just hope that the post office doesn't increase their postal rate. Hopefully they won't. Let's see. So now you know how to do that surname search. Let's go back home and go to the next one down. We did a quick search. I don't know if I showed you this. Let's say Smith. That's a good name, but before that, SM. We don't know what. I can't think of how to spell Smith. So I'll put a % sign in here. That's our. That's our wild card. So SM, % sign, and SM, all the SM, and then any of the surnames that fall in after that. We got small, got a lot of smalls here. And it'll jump to Smith here pretty quick, Smalley, on and on, Smallwood. Let's see, there's a bunch, there's 26 pages. Let's see if we go to 25. Page 25. Oh, there's Smith, Mary Smith. Yeah. So Pearl Smith. So that's how that works. You can blow this thing up as pretty large so you can see closer. And let's see if I can get this to work. Okay. Right. So that's that surname search. Then you have a detailed search. So let's go in and say last name would be Elpers. I mentioned Evangeline Elpers, P-E-R. Let's see. Okay. E-L-P-E-R-S, Elpers. There's no E. Helpers. And let's go for Indiana. How's that sound? And there we go. There's Charles Elpers. It's Logansport, Indiana. I got a lot of Logansport. These are mostly from her albums that I bought about 15 years ago. There was they were online on eBay, and they were purchased at a not antiques, but housing. Somebody was selling their house. She had died, or all relatives were dead, and I was able to go ahead and purchase all her photo albums. There were like 3 of them, and these photo albums take her from when she was a kid in grade school all the way up until she was a middle-aged woman, and she's buried in Logansport. She was a designer of dresses. She's also wrote some plays, and her designs were beautiful. I mean, if you like that, if you like to design dresses, she knew how to do it. And the reason why I know that is because her drawings were also in the auction on eBay, and I didn't buy them, but somebody else did. And a year or 2 after we each bought our component parts of her life, I got an email from the woman who bought her designs, her drawings, and we talked about her photographs, and we communicated for a while about how unique she was. We tried to find a relative, but didn't really have any luck. Now, even when we find a relative, doesn't mean they want the photos. They just don't want to be bothered with them. So in this case, I don't think I ever did connect with any relative. That's kind of interesting. She's got a lot of records on you from her. That's actually, I had posted most of these. So on the poster of most of these photographs, they aren't all hers. But there we go for detailed search. We'll do another. Let's do a couple more. I'm guessing that somebody in the group is named Cybert. And I don't know if there's any Cyberts on the website. There probably isn't. No, there isn't. So that's what you'll see when there isn't any Cyberts. So if there's any Cyberts in the group, let's get going. Put your relatives' surnames in there. Actually, I know there's some Cyberts because one is my nephew and one is my great nephew. So get going, guys. So a detailed search. There's a lot of different ways. Last name, of course, first name, maiden name. Maiden name helps. You can search by the date range and the age. Let's pick somebody at 16 to 25 back in 1851 to 1900 that lived in Canada. Let's go out. You know, we have a lot of photographs that are outside of the United States. It's not focused strictly for the United States. We have New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Europe, United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Ireland. There are a lot of different ways you can search. Okay, here's Canada. And here's 1851 to 1900, age 16 to 20. So there's quite a few on there. There's 8 pages of them. There's normally 15 photos to a page, mostly. So you can do the math and figure out how many are there. So I'm trying to see if I have, let's see, search photos. Let's see if we have any from Australia. Okay, Australia. Yeah, so we got quite a few. And you might see, like, for instance, this person here posted this wedding photo, and from Oakley, South Melbourne, Victoria. You'll see 4 people in this photo, and there's the same people down here. Every name gets a record. So if there's 4 people or 5 people or 50 people, and then their names are on the photograph, you'll see 50 postings of that same photograph. That's just how that works. Click here to see this record. That means that nobody has a name. There's no name, just a place. And there's 10, let's see, Kodak postcard print, no date, no signature. Wishing you all Happy New Year, it says on the back. Possibly sent to my great aunt Ella and Jen Drew of Sandgate. So subject could be associated with the 1885 voyage of the, however you pronounce that, Sybassa from London to Brisbane. So again, there's the keyword comment section. Very important to fill that out as best you can. And then they have other records. They have a few. Yep. Okay. So that's how that works. Where are we at? So we've gone from quick search, we've done surname search, detailed search, mysteries. Mysteries is basically detailed search without the last name. So how many people named John or Joan? How about Joan? Joan. Oh, sorry about that. J-O-A. Let's put a percent sign up. What happens? Joan. Joanna. Joan from Ithaca, New York. You see this little one right here that says Joan? You click on that. You'll see this photo not found. But I'll try and get rid of this thing over. Okay, open it up. Click on Joan. Notice that there's no photo in this record. There's information. There apparently were 3 people in this photograph. What happened about 10 years ago, we had a hosting company who was making some upgrades on their server, and they upgraded my website by erasing a couple thousand photographs. And wasn't that fun? They couldn't retrieve them because they had completely deleted them. So we deleted the web, we deleted that company and went to somebody else more appropriate. However, we have, you'll see this here. There's no photo, but you can contact the submitter, and this is how it works. Contact the submitter, say, hey, look, your photo isn't showing up, but the information that you posted is. Is there any way I could see this photo? And they usually go ahead and send you a copy of it. So that's one more step you need to take. Mysteries, like I said, are the same as detailed search. Then you go to keyword search. So keyword is, if you want to browse the website, say for instance, you want to go to World War II. And you'll see 1,617 people that were in World War II. It doesn't mean that's all the World War II photos we have. It just means that's the ones that had been posted that had World WW2 in the comment section. Again, keyword search, comment section, they're all tied in together. This one guy right here, I was down in, where was it? Somewhere down in Mississippi. And I went into an antique shop. Actually, it was near Vicksburg. I went into an antique shop and I found a box full of photos. There was about 30 of them. All soldiers. It must have been a training center down there somewhere. And all World War II. This one was in the box. And I put this up because it had his name. Some other ones had his name too. There's 41. Sorry, that's how many there were. D. Havens. And I put that up and his niece contacted me. And Eileen Frank was his niece. And it's D. Havens, who died in World War II. D's legal name was Leicester Dyer Havens. When he was born at Breckenridge, Texas. And his parents, when he died in August the 1st, 1943, in an air raid, disastrous air raid on the German oil refineries at Polesky, Romania. There's a book out that mentions him, and a little more information. He was the first person to die in that raid. He was on the Jersey Bounce, which is B-24 Liberator bomber, in the 330th Bomb Squad. 6 other folks were killed with him, and 4 were POWs. So some people got out, but he didn't. Very interesting, and that's a sad story. But there's a lot of sad stories here and here about people who died during the war. Some real heroes. So that's the keyword search. Let me see. Another one would be. Let's see. I don't know. Nurse. How about a nurse? Whoops. Go back. So there's a lot of nurses too, apparently. And the website is geared towards finding your relatives. I had already said that. But it's also good to see styles. Many people just use the archive to look at styles. For instance, if you go down here, you could go detail search, wedding photos, wedding portraits. And there are a lot of people who are shown in the wedding photos. So you can see the styles that people had, the dresses. I also have a Facebook page that's called Vintage Wedding Photos. It's on Facebook, along with my Dead Fred Facebook page. That's an offshoot of my Dead Fred page. And I get a lot of activity there because people like to look at the wedding gowns. None of them seem to care about the grooms. I don't quite understand. Well, I think I do understand, but these are nice browsing items, and also very exciting when somebody finds a relative in their wedding photo. I have my whole family up here, the ones that have died. Gives my grandchildren a chance, and my children, and other relatives to go in there and see what their family looked like back in the day. So that's a good conversation piece. Now that takes care of this, pretty much everything that's on that first central part in the on searching. And then there's also these here, and they pretty much represent the tools that I just went through, just another way of getting to them. Now, I also have over here photographers. Like a cabinet card, in the back of the cabinet cards, even on the bottom of some of the cards and photos, there's the name of the artist or the person who took the photo. So you can browse by photographer. There's 9,823 photographers that are represented in this particular part of the database. It comes in handy for a lot of people, especially people who research photographers back in the 1800s, even back in the early 1900s and the late 1700s. One thing I forgot to mention to you is you can also search by photo type. And I didn't show that to you. The photo type is ambrotypes, black and white photo. That's usually photo postcards. And then you have cabinet cards, like I just mentioned. Card to visits are like a small cabinet card, only about maybe a third the size. Pretty much used as a calling card. If you went to somebody's house, they weren't home, you slip one of these card to visits into their door, and they know you stopped by. Daguerreotypes, donated photos, group photos, portraits, snapshots, tintypes. Tintypes or those little metal photographs. You can see the edges are rough and sharp too. You don't want to get cut on these. And they have a tendency to peel. It's a shame. These were in production pretty much from the 1860s, late 1860s, I think it is, to into actually 1900, 1910, but not as much then as they were in the early part. You can't write on the back, so you couldn't write the person's name. Of course, they don't do that today either, so it seems to be a trend over a 100-year period. But it's another type of photo. There's another one I want to show you. Let's see here. Okay, daguerreotypes. These are my favorite. Daguerreotypes were done pretty much between the beginning of the photography, which I said 1700s. I have to take that back. Actually, the first photograph that was taken was 1838, I believe, by this gentleman, Daguerreo. I think that's how they pronounce his last name. Very clear, very clear photographs. This looks more like a tintype right here, but they are absolutely beautiful photographs. You don't see a lot of them. They're pretty much, let's get rid of this thing up here somehow or other. There you go. If you find some way to here's one. If you saw that in person, you'd think you could touch it. It was so clear and so beautiful when it was new. I have a few of these, and I have about maybe 25 or 30 of them, and I find them totally amazing. Okay, now let's move on. So that's pretty much how you do your search. I think I've covered that pretty well. If you have any questions, I'll take the questions at the end of this program, or you can write to me at joe@deadfred.com and ask me one-on-one. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay, how to post your photos. In order to get, you don't need to be a member to be part of this website. This is a free website to use, anybody to use. It doesn't cost anything. So there's no membership. People write me and say, how do I join? Well, there is no joining, just there it is, use it. But if you're going to post a photo, you're going to need to post a photo, get a password. So you post your photos by clicking here. And then I have a little terms of service deal that I put up there just to keep the copyright information, copyright photos from being used. Most of the photos that are on here, I think all of them, are not copyrighted because they might have been once upon a time, but they hadn't been repeated. So I think you're pretty safe when you find an old photo to post it. Unless it has unless it was taken, I think, after 1928, I could be wrong. But and photo and albums like school albums. So no file chosen. So you click here, you go into your files and click on a photo. Upload the photo. Keep an eye on this right here. This is the photo number, something you might want to refer to later on. Now that you've done this, you've gotten this far, an email is being sent to you because you're going to be using the history, your email address, joe@deadfred.com. You put your last name, you put your first name, I'll just use letters, and then put the information that's on the photo. If you don't know what the photo, if you don't know who it is, there's no name, no first name, no middle name, no last name. You might want to describe the photo in the first names column. Say, for instance, circa 1920, young man. You can go up and look at it and say if that's right. I say, yeah, that might be 1930s. So, and then any information you know about, it might say it's from New York, what towns, maybe maybe Syracuse, New York, could be United States, county if you know the county, photographer if it's on there, and then the photographer's information, which I showed you, which really helps tie it down to where that photo was from, especially if you don't have the name. So if you have somebody that this picture was taken in Syracuse, New York, and you know it's a say it was between 1921 and 1940. Type of photo was a portrait, and he looked like he was around 16 to 25 years old. We'll call him an adult male, one. And then no maiden name, because it's a guy. And then keyword, and this is a keyword. Anything you could say in here, found this in the street. You know, and then you go ahead and please check here if you do not want to be contacted about this record. If you're putting it on the archive and you want to find a relative that would want that photo, I would not click that because then they can't reach you. Now, there's some people who do that, not a lot. We used to have a monthly newsletter. We don't have it now because of spam, people hacking it. We couldn't stop all the trash that was being added to it, so we had to take it down. We had, I think, 3,000 subscribers. It was a shame. It was well done, but just couldn't do it. So anyway, here we go. We're going to submit it to the database. Now you get the email in your email box. Check your spam filter, and use that password to sign in. Now, when you sign in, you just go up there to this login, click on that, you put your email address and you put the password that he wrote you. They just sent you in your email, and you can change that password when you finally get in there. And you set up your own little room which keeps track of your photos. And that's how that works. So you're signed up, you can post all the photos you want. Again, these photos are, this site is strictly for reuniting you with your ancestors' photographs, or somebody else reuniting you with your ancestors' photographs. What I haven't shown you yet is that we have, let me go back to the home page. Click on P, scroll down until you see a whole bunch of long, here it is. These are photo albums from, oh geez, I guess in the early 1880s to the mid 1940 Romania here. You could scroll through the album, and maybe you'll see some. Here's an interesting photograph. Again, I got this thing coming down. I can't get rid of it. So we have quite a few albums. Go back. Helpers. Now here's the helpers. I got 2 of the albums up for helpers. There's still more photos, but you can scroll through. You'll see how she was. This is Evangeline's on the right. Actually, her first name is Mary Evangeline Elpers, and this is one of her friends. She has a lot of pictures like this. She's a lot of fun. I wish, every once in a while you get people you'd like to meet that lived long ago and that are now dead. Now, I just signed out of my website accidentally. So hopefully I can get it back up and we can get okay, Joan Marie or Kay, if I'm not on there, let me know, please.
You're on there.
Okay, good, thanks. I accidentally just wiped it out. So you saw the annuals. There is also, if you go to S and scroll down, you saw the photo albums. Now here's the school annuals that I have posted. We like a 1983 to 1989 1883 to 89 University of Wisconsin, up to 1938 School of Nursing in Ogdensburg, New York, and the University of Montana, Lakewood School, some other schools there. I have quite a few school albums that I have not posted yet that I need to get up, but it takes time. Right now, I have posted about 12,000 photographs that are on the archive, and I have them in a room indexed and ready to be picked up if somebody finds them. I usually send, I have connections every week, which is a nice thing. But I also have another 12,000 that I have yet to scan. I have a woman by the name of Marge Rice. I met her once in Austin, Texas, at an annual genealogy show. And let's see how I can do this. Type of photo, tool search photos, post photos. Well, anyway, she said to me when we were at this is in Austin, Texas. She's been using my website, and she had found some relatives. She goes, and she was a genealogist. She'd been doing it for years, and she had tons of photographs. And she goes, she was going to leave them to me when she died. And I thought that was really nice of her. And then the time went on, and we talk every once in a while. But she did die. And her daughter called me one day and said, my mom died and she left you her photographs. So I was, I hired a van. I rented a van, and I drove to Joliet, Illinois, and I picked up the van, and it was just boxes and boxes and boxes of photographs that had all the research done on them. So I went ahead and posted those, and I got one box to go yet, but I haven't gotten to that yet. In the meantime, there was a genealogy website that went out of business. They retired, and they called me and said, do you want my photographs? And again, I had to rent a van, and I drove to St. Louis, and there was about 27 boxes just chock full of photographs with the research done on them. So I was very lucky to get those photographs. Again, that was another 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 photographs. Now I've got 2 of those boxes completed, and I've got another 27 boxes to go. So I've got my hands full. I'm starting to pull together a group of people who will volunteer to scan and to post to the archive. I haven't quite got all the mechanisms down yet. It's going to be a process, but we'll get there, and that'll help me a lot, because right now I'm down in the cellar in my house in my area called Dead Fred Room, right where my wife always wanted me to be, downstairs out of the room, and down here doing my thing, but not being out of the house. And she laughs when I tell her that, so she's a good lady. My grandkids help me post. They come in and help me do some counts. So I've got lots to do. I've got folks that write me and say they're going to send me your photographs, and I go ahead and do them. I do the smaller lots first, and then I go to the bigger lots, and then mix in the smaller lots. So I guess everybody gets some of their photos put up. A woman just wrote me 2 days ago, says she has more than 100 cabinet cards that she wants to get rid of. So she's going to send them to me. We'll put that in the list and get them going. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to see all these people with their photographs. And you know what else? It's not a wonderful thing to see where they find them. Some people find them in the trash, in their neighbor's trash. And they pick them out and send them to me. They found these in the trash. And so, yeah, it's heartbreaking to see that. You get one person who dies, and they don't have any relatives, and they just toss the photos. It's a shame. So if you'd like to send me the photos, I'll just contact me again at that email address. Also, I want to point out to you, there's a person called Kate Kelly, her name, and she has a program called the Photo Angel Project, where she actually takes the photos, and she goes ahead and she goes and finds the people that are related to them and physically hands it to them as much as she can. Sometimes she goes ahead and gets photos taken of the people with their photograph. But she's relatively new to me, and I just found out about her about a couple of months ago. But she's doing quite a job. She's lively and works hard getting those photos back to family. So kudos to Kate Kelly and the angel, the photo angel. Okay, where were we?
You ready to answer some questions, Joe?
Oh yeah, sure. I haven't gotten through it all, but we'll get through it sometime.
Okay.
One more thing. Can I just say
Okay.
one more thing?
Yep, go ahead.
Actually, 2 things. Okay. I'm on Facebook, you know that, Instagram, and we're on Twitter. You can have a search box, your own, click here, and you can post your own search on Dead Fred and Fred Martin. And I won't do the salesman thing here. I'll go down to John Marie.
You can go ahead and do that, Joe.
Okay. Your own search box. If you know anything about code, you can go ahead and capture this code here and put it on your website. And you can search you can offer a search mechanism for Dead Fred. Again, the search box. Fred Martin. You know, Maureen Taylor writes a lot of books, and she's very interesting, very good books. And if you go over here and scroll down, where it's called Fred Martin, very unique name. You can find her books there. Also, you can find them online. I actually recommend her for genealogy books. Let's see. I think I have it pretty much covered. We could go ahead. Oh, let me show you. There's me and my two boys. We're a lot older now. This is Amanda Schertzer, Jeanette. I don't have a picture of Daniel up here, but I have a picture of Daniel that I'll post and people can meet him through that. Anyway, Jean Marie, take it away.
Okay, question. Can you use volunteers?
Yes, provided I can get to him, talk to him, and figure a way of getting the photos to him and getting them back.
Okay,
That's
so
some of the
just
process.
reach you directly, and I have
Yeah.
posted your email in the chat, so.
Okay, good.
Okay, Debbie wants to know how many people are working on your site?
One. Me. I've got actually working. What do you mean by working? You mean posting photos? It's just me right now. But Jeanette, she's doing the scribe business and she does the writing. Daniel does the code poetry. He does all the keeps the ships running, keeps the engine going. And Amanda jumps in when she can now. She got a handful of kids, so does Jeanette. They both do. But working through this volunteer process, getting that going is going to be a good thing. So I can get a lot of people involved.
It sounds like you have your hands full.
I love it.
Okay, so another question. Michael wants to know what type of website format are you using? WordPress or
PHP.
PHP?
PHP, and don't even ask me what that is. Let's see. If you look up up here, top in the index in the browser bar, you see it says PHP at the end.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's as much as I can tell you about it.
That works. Here's another question. Can we post photos that have watermarks on them to keep them from being
Yes.
published somewhere else? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. How do you store your photos?
Let's see. I have. You ever see boxes that come with printer paper?
Yeah.
Okay, I have printer paper boxes. Most of all my index photos are in boxes that once had printer paper in them. Some of them have, you say you can put me off here just for a minute? Is there a way to show me?
I think you stopped sharing your screen. Is that right, Kay?
Yeah, okay, that's okay. I'll explain it.
Okay.
A lot of these come in United States Postal Service priority mailboxes. And I use those also to store them. We keep them at around between 70 and 78 degrees in a dry environment. So we don't want to get them moldy or don't want to have them ruined.
Right.
I put them in plastic bags. ones for photographs, and envelopes. When I started out, I took all the I put the photos in envelopes, and I marked the envelope with the photo number. So the first 5, 6 boxes that I have are photos that are in envelopes that are in the box.
Okay, here's another one. What equipment and what's the best way to get the photos uploaded? She has tons of photos and is overwhelmed.
I highly recommend, and I've been using this scanner for years now, and it just chugs along. It's called an Epson Perfection 3V, like an Invictor, 370 photo scanner. And it's very simple, couple buttons, easy to use, and it can do front and back. There's a couple other bells and whistles on there that you can use, which I don't use. I'm not a very high-tech guy. My whole process here is just getting photos on the website. But I use that scanner, and I really recommend it.
Okay, and then another question, are the photos that are on Facebook also on the website?
Let's see, photo and web down. Some of them are. If I have like my wedding photos that are on here, I'll put them on vintage photo wedding photos Facebook page. If I run across some very special photographs, I think ought to be shared on my Dead Fred page, I do that. But people send me their photos and ask me to post them on my Facebook page. I don't do that. I get too many requests for photographs to be placed on the Facebook page, and I don't like to download photos that are sent to me in emails, because if some of them might contain viruses that are not detected. I have run across a number of times problems with viruses, and from emails that are sent in to me. I have a pretty much up-to-date virus protection, but still, you're always trying to keep ahead of it. And
Right.
I don't. So if you send me a photograph, I would suggest what you do is send it to the archive, post it to the archive, and then you'd be better off with it. A lot more people go to the archive than to the Facebook page. Although there's 150,000 people on the members of the Facebook Dead Fred, there's a lot more that go to the website.
Okay, we'll do one last question here and then we'll wrap up for the evening. What if you know someone that there's a picture and it's unknown? How do they contact you? Or put that they know that person on there?
Well, again, if they go to the way I read, you're saying that person goes to my website and they see a photograph, but there's no name, but yet I know who that person is.
Yeah.
Go down to click on contact submitter and tell them I know who this person is.
Okay.
If they don't get an answer, write to me and I might be able to help them out. Okay.
Yeah. And then whatever questions we haven't gotten to, I think we pretty much got most of them. We'll forward to Joe so he can answer them.
Okay.
But this was amazing. And someone even mentioned, you are amazing, man, Joe. Thank you for all you've done. #respect.
Oh, that's my nephew. I'm just kidding. But thank you, whoever you are. I appreciate that. And I enjoy this. This is wonderful for me. So somebody said I'm overwhelmed. Overwhelm me every day if you could with this, because this is just wonderful.
Well, I'm sure you'll be getting quite a few emails and people will be checking.
Okay.
Hopefully we won't crash your website. So
Hey, come on. You know, one little story, quick.
Okay.
I told you about it got wiped out because I was on, I'm sorry. Maureen Taylor. She noticed, she mentioned Dead Fred and put up some stuff on the Today Show. And it crashed. I mean, my website stayed crashed for 3 days.
Oh, no.
But, oh yeah, but that's back when it was an ASP codes, whatever. And it didn't hold all that many people coming to it. But that was an intense event. We were going nuts because of that. And that was a wonderful nuts. But anyway, it's happened again. It's happened off and on. Somebody has a classroom or somebody teaches something online and all these people come on board. Boom, the site goes down. So I know something's happening good.
Yeah,
when the
it's
site goes
true.
down.
It's a
Okay,
positive way to look at it.
And I'll go ahead and stop asking things and saying stuff, and I'll back off. And I want to thank you both,
Well,
John
thank you for
Marie
being
and
here.
Kate. Yeah, you're welcome. And,
Okay, we'll go ahead and end the live right now, and you guys will have access to watch the replay if you've missed any of it, and we'll also be posting it on Joe's Facebook page, Dead Fred. And so that's it for now. We'll see you guys next
Okay.
month.
See you later, folks. Thank you very much.